What's going on, guys? We are back at it with another episode of Straight Talk Live with Post Grad Recruits. Very special guest in the building tonight. We got Coach Daryl, got myself, Coach Terry, Coach Davis, Chris. We're gonna do it a little bit different tonight. Chris came up with a great idea, man. We're gonna jump into a game that Chris thought up. Chris, you want to break it down real quick, and then we'll get into the questions of how we play it.
Yeah, man. So pretty much we're gonna have some fun with finding out, a little bit about Coach Jones. So pretty much Kev is gonna ask Coach Jones some questions. The rest of the cast, they're gonna try to answer those questions. Coach Jones either gonna tell them you don't know me like that. If the answer is incorrect, he's gonna say you think you know me. All right. So Coach Jones, once you answer, man, elaboration on the answer, man, so we can find out on why we don't know you.
Got you.
Let's go.
And what I'll do that way, we kind of keep it going back and forth. We just go back and forth. Go Chris, Coach Terry, me, and we just go like that. So we got 5 quick questions. Like I said, trying to find a different, more interesting way to get to know the coaches as we bring them on. So
got you.
We'll go with you, Coach Terry. We got question number 1 for Coach Jones. It's going to be an A, B, or C answer. All right. So first question. Coach Jones has been A behavioral specialist, B, a principal, or C, a school counselor. What you got, Coach Terry?
He just got that already. Yes, sir. Look. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You don't know me like that. Definitely. Nah, man. No, I'm a behavior specialist. That's my trade. And so I'm the guy that they deal with before they get to the principal. So I'm the dude that tries to smooth it over before little Jimmy just go off the wall. So I'm that guy. I'm him.
Gotcha. Good. Coach Davis, we'll swing to you with question number 2. All right. So Coach Jones, he coached high school ball in which state? Were we A, Florida, B, Cali, or C, down there in Texas?
I'm gonna say B, Cali.
Coach Jones?
Yeah, you definitely don't know me like that.
Hey, he ain't got that California voice.
Yeah, man. Texas, man, all day. I've coached high school ball in the great state of Texas. That's where I cut my teeth at before I jumped into college. So Texas is my home.
Damn.
Good.
I didn't hear the y'all.
I thought you gonna hear it before the night is over with, guaranteed.
There we go. We're going to keep that one in mind, man, when I get to my question, because Texas is making a little bit of noise right now, so I definitely want to talk to you on that one. So
yeah, we do.
I'll jump to myself on this one. We got question number 3. It says Coach Jones attended A, Stanford, B, Howard Payne, boo, C, Southwestern University. So you said Texas. I'm going to jump out on a limb and say B, Howard Payne.
You think you know me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was cheating, Coach.
That was cheating for real. He done went and Googled it. Got him.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Come on, man. That was easy.
Go ahead and let them know why you said boo, Kevin.
Come on, man. Mississippi College Choctaws all day, man.
Exactly. I'm gonna say you got to be an ASC guy.
You see it in the background. You see it right there. Yeah, man. Tell us about your time at the school out in Texas, Coach. How was that? When were you there?
So I was at Howard Payne from 2003 through 06. I graduated spring of 07. So I played 03 to 06. Had some great battles with Mississippi College. Matter of fact, one of the hands down. I'm gonna say this real quick. I want to say this because you touched on it, Mississippi College. 2005, we had to go out there to Mississippi, man, and we had to beat them boys in triple overtime. And that was the hard, like they had, matter of fact, on that team, if I'm not mistaken, I think they had 3 or 4 guys that actually ended up playing either in the CFL or in the league off that team. That team was legit. That was a legit team.
Yeah, man, had some good teams back during those years. I can remember a couple battles along them same years. So
yes.
Good stuff. All right, we got question 4. Chris, we're going to hop over to you.
All right.
Coach Jones was a captain for A, 1 year, B, 4 years, or C, 2 years?
2 years.
Hey, you think you know me?
I had twos up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
twos
to
up.
also.
That's it.
Man, back in our day, it was hard. Freshman, man.
You know
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt.
You ain't
No
expected.
doubt.
You expected to do your time back when we was. So.
Yeah, this generation has changed though.
Oh
Either
yeah.
I'm starting or I ain't coming.
There it is. Exactly.
It's crazy. All right, man. So we'll just throw this one as a toss-up. Last question. Anybody feel free to answer. Coach, you respond. In college, Coach Jones was A, an MVP of his team, B, most inspirational player, or C, was he the defensive player of the year?
Man, you caught me on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna
Player of
go.
the year.
I'm gonna go with inspirational because you already a counselor right now. You smooth talking people. Come on, guys, we can do this. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We can do this.
Now, Coach Terry think he know me, man. So yeah, I was most inspirational player on my squad. Yes, sir.
Hey, let's
Damn.
Nice.
Did that carry over to your coaching and your coaching style?
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely is carried over. I love to get them kids. I love to get the guys motivated. I'm big on that. It's like you got to play with some fire in your belly, man. You have to. That's how you got to play the game. Because otherwise,
Yes,
no
sir.
need to be out there. No need to be out there if you're not gonna do that.
Agreed. So, Coach, I love what we just did. That was our first time doing it, man. That was great.
That was
Chris,
dope.
amazing idea. That was real good. I think we'll keep that one going. That was real good. So, Coach, we'll jump right into it, man. You out there at Southwestern University. Give us your role. Tell us a little bit about the school, the competition, recruiting. Just go into it, man. Give us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Got you. So I'm defensive backs coach there. I actually transitioned to safeties 2 seasons ago. So we got one of my former players, a guy who was All-American for us, came back to work for us. He's our corners coach. So I transitioned over to safeties, and so he and I back there running the secondary together. Currently, right now, recruiting is recruiting. You know how that goes. We just finished up our 22 class, so we're getting into the 23s and evaluating those guys as we go. Of course, it's camp season, so everybody, we're telling everybody, hey, let's get these camps. We're letting recruits know where we're going to be at. Like, we're going to be, if it's a camp in Houston, we're letting them know, hey, we're going to be there, show up, want to talk to you, and all that good stuff. Southwestern is a liberal arts school here in Texas. It's the oldest school in Texas, to be quite honest with you. Baylor tried to have that distinction, but we beat them out on that. So Southwestern is actually the oldest school in Texas. Give you a tidbit of more information. Southwestern actually started off as the University of Texas, and the University of Texas actually came and bought the name from Southwestern. So that's how that actually happened. So UT really didn't have a name when it first started. University of Texas was actually Southwestern. And then, like I said, the charter members and board members, that ended up buying the name. And so that's how that whole thing got started. And we became Southwestern. But just with being the oldest school in Texas, like I said, we are a private school there. We're the number one academic school in Texas. We play in the best football conference, I think, personally, in the country, in the American Southwest Conference. Mary Hardin-Baylor, who's the reigning national champion, that's who comes out of that conference. Hardin-Simmons, who's always ranked in the top 10 every single year. East Texas Baptist was another good one. Texas Lutheran. I can just go down the list of all the schools that are in the conference that you just, from week to week, you just never know what you're going to face with those guys. And so it's a great conference to be in. I tell young men all the time that it's not for the faint of heart when you come to the ASC. It is real. It is real. It is legit. You don't know who you're going to play against across from you. And I tell so many freshmen, hey, man, when you come in here, you got to realize these are grown men. This ain't like high school, man. You are dealing with grown men. And so, especially in this conference, because you never know, because the dude across from you, he may be 23, you may have 2 kids. You just never know. And that's real. That's as real as it gets.
For sure.
So that's what we got going on right now at Southwestern. That's kind of my role right now with the school as we speak. So that's just where we're at.
Nice, man. So, that's why I met Chris down in the ASC, man, at Mississippi College. I can remember a lot of battles with every single one of those teams that you just mentioned. And, you talk about the Mary Hardin-Baylors, the Hardin-Simmons of the world. It's just those are some of those programs that are just always right there,
Correct.
right there. And they're good. You talk about guys being able to go on to the professional ranks, whether it be arena, CFL, NFL.
Correct.
So being down there in Texas, man, I know you guys have such a pool of talent to be able to recruit from. And if you're not at the UT or the Texas Tech or the A&Ms or, the Division twos or the D1AAs, you get into that ASC play, man, and you still playing
Correct.
some hellified football.
Correct.
Some hard-hitting, hard-nosed, well-coached, athletic football. So
correct.
Salute to you guys down there, man. I went to battle with those guys, won a bunch, lost a bunch.
Yes.
But it was always respect and it was always great, great football.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
Very good, very good. So, Coach, you're down there, you're coaching the safeties, you're in the DBs. I think something we always ask the coaches, man, when you're going out, you're recruiting, what's your player profile that you're looking at when it comes to these safeties and DBs and you're out there on a recruiting trail?
Well, I'm like any other coach, man. I want the Cam Chancellor guys, 6'3", about 220, the prototypical dudes. I want that guy, No, for us, here's what I'm looking for, honestly. When we go out, my biggest thing is not so much the size of a guy. I want to see how he looks really on film. Like, I'm looking at the film, can he move? Does he move well in space? Things like that. That's one of my biggest ones. Is like, does he move well in space? Can he tackle in space? Those are things like that I really, really look for, because at the end of the day, you're going to be put in a lot of matchups where you're going to be in space in this conference. The offenses are so spread out. They're spreading you sideline to sideline. The running backs are really good. The receivers are really good. The quarterbacks are really good. So you're always going to find guys who are going to be in space. And the one thing I look at when I watch film is, number one, can he move in space? And number two, can he tackle in space? And if he can do those two things, that's something that I'm really going to sit. Everything else I can kind of work on, as far as, whether he can backpedal or whether he can do this or that. If he's a decent cover guy, I definitely want to look at that and see where his coverage skills are, of course, like anything else, right? But those are things you can work on. And a lot of times, how it is in football, man. You can mask a lot of things in football, depending on if you're a zone team. If you match up this way, it just depends on what you're playing. If you're a split field coverage team, it just depends on what you're doing. You can mask a lot of things really well. And so at the end of the day, that's not really, like I said, a huge for me. But like I said, going back to it, space, being able to tackle in space, being able to move in space, having good field awareness is always, one of those big deals. Like, do you know where you're at on the field? Are you on, which side of the 50 are we on? The 40, so forth and so on. Do guys understand that? So those are three things I look at when I watch film. That's what I talk to their high school, coordinators about, head coaches. Like, what is he like in space, coach? Like, is he this kind of guy? Like, what is he? Because that's going to let me know what we need to work on once he gets on campus and how we need to build him going forward. So those are some of the things I look at in recruiting. Now, of course, the biggest one is always going to be academics. You know how it is. Sure. Academically, they got to fit the profile. They got to have the grades, man. We're looking at, like I said, 3.3 core GPA, high SAT, at least in 1,000 range, to be able to even talk to you. So those are things that are very important for us on this end and going out and recruiting. And we've been able to find those guys there. But then, like I said, those other parts play a huge piece in there as well.
Cool, hey, Coach. Cool. Real quick. Do you guys feel the same way Deion Sanders feel when you walk in the building and the coach says, this one be good? Yeah, this one's good.
Oh, man. I get so tired of hearing that. I'm going to tell you something. I get so tired of hearing that nonsense. Coach, I think he can play for y'all. Well, what do you mean? Like I literally had to ask guys that question. Like, what do you mean you think he can play for us? Because, like, I think the misconception with Division III is just a bunch of guys that weren't the dudes at their school and everybody's just kind of happy to play football. And that's not the case. That's nowhere near the case. Like, that could be further from the truth. Like, when you look at some of the offensive lines, and I'll tab it up to like University of Whitewater in Wisconsin, Mount Union, Cal Lutheran, who we're going to play again this year. Like, when you're looking at the offensive line that's averaging 6'3" across the board, man, and they all 280, 290, and they can all run and move, and you like, that's a FCS offensive line, like that's a FCS defensive end. He just playing Division III football. Like, he's 6'5", but instead of him being, say, 270, he's 250. Right. And maybe he don't fit the mold of what a Michigan wants or what a USC wants. So he's got to go Division III or he's got to play Division II. Like, that's the thing. And so Yeah, no, I get tired of guys telling me who can play for us and who can't, and I got a good, man. I'm like, look, if the kid can play, we'll evaluate it and we'll see. Because I'll tell you this little short story. I had a coaching buddy of mine. Not gonna drop his name because he and I already had this discussion. But he sent me a kid, and I was like, okay, man, he's good. I like his film. Oh man, I'm telling you, he's gonna be good for you, man. This joker got to campus. I think he lasted maybe a semester and was out of there. Like, because it was just real. Like, it got too real too quick. That's just the nature of the beast. So I was like, man, don't ever send me nothing like that again, man. Don't do me like that. You've been knowing me too long.
We had that conversation before about how guys come to school and then at the end of that night, their first day to camp, they call their moms and dads, hey, could you come meet me about a light? Could you come pick me up?
We used to, so when I was at, so it's funny you say that, when I was at Howard Payne, right across the before you got to the field house, you had to cross over some railroad tracks. And so out of the dorm rooms, you should be able to see guys, and we used to be like, man, they catching that midnight train to Georgia. We used to have that song playing. And so we come in the locker room and be like, so the next day we come in the locker room, and when we see a guy wouldn't show up, we crank the stereo on, and that's when we play that midnight train. And you would have it, we'd have it playing in the locker room. Because I let you know somebody that walked, somebody took the midnight train. They gone. Yeah, they did it.
I'll piggyback off that and give y'all a funny story real quick, real short. I didn't have a roommate. Well, I started with roommates, but I didn't have a permanent roommate until my junior season. My freshman year, both semesters, you look up, teammate gone. Sophomore year, guy out there, practicing hard. We're going to 2 days, gone. Yep. So I'm sitting in a dorm room by myself, chilling the first 2 years. I'm like, this is great. I'm playing football. I got a room to myself. It's amazing. And finally, one of my guys, Jake Allen, one of them guys you talk about going to the league, we became roommates and we stayed there. And, he stuck it out. But, yeah, man, guys, you come in, you talk about a Division III, some of these schools that people think are lacking. It's talent on every single level, and it's definitely at the D3 level for sure.
Correct. No doubt. No doubt. It is. A lot of talent that gets overlooked. I think, matter of fact, I think UMHB had a couple of guys are in the USFL and are in the USFL, I think, playing ball right now, like our own teams.
I can believe it.
Yeah, our own teams right now in the USFL, so they balling.
Man, you said something when you said Mountain Union. When I played for the Browns, that's where we used to actually practice at.
Okay.
So they get the facilities and everything. They get people in. They steal a lot of athletes. Not steal, but
No, I get it. I get it, man. They get dudes. They get guys.
They get those dudes.
They get those dudes. Exactly.
This guy right here. And matter of fact, this past draft, they had 2 linemen to get drafted.
Exactly.
Yeah, always have a lineman.
Yes.
What?
Always have a lineman.
So,
for sure.
I'm telling kid that's watching who play on the offensive line, because us big dudes, don't be go Division III, because I'm telling you, if you good, they're gonna find you. Now, if your coaches and your mom and your parents that hype you up like you're good, you're gonna stay at corner U. That's any corner you pick.
Correct, exactly.
Corner you pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Any corner you pick, corner U.
Corner U. We call it DC. We call it DCU down here, the Crib University. That's what we call it down here. The Crib University, DCU. That's what we call it.
Hey, you know what? If you're good enough, they're gonna find you. Don't matter what division you are.
Correct.
Every time.
Every time. Exactly.
I mean, they do favor the younger guys, so stay young.
Yeah.
But they will find you.
That's true. So, Coach, would you prefer? I know this, Coach. Would you prefer a DB who run a 4.3 who lacks in technique, or a DB who run a 4.5, 4.6 who's great in technique? Which one do you prefer?
Good question.
That's a great question. I'll tell you this: who's got the better attitude?
Okay, come down to attitude.
Who's got the better attitude? Because here's the deal: who's coachable? Because because the guy with the technique is probably and I'll tell you what I've gotten. The guy with the technique is the one I've had a hard time getting along with, because he feels he's already got it, and he feels like he can't learn anymore. The guy that doesn't have the technique but runs the 4.3 is the one that's hungry and he wants to learn more. Like, Coach, how can I get my technique better? What can I do more of? And so it all comes down to who's got the better attitude and who wants to learn, because that's what and again, you just, Coach, you didn't hit my soft spot. Now, is you're running into all of a sudden, we're in this social media world. Y'all know what we're in right now, man. And everybody has a trainer. Everybody is great. Everybody's this, is that. And one of the things I look at, even when I talk to my buddies who coach at the high school level, I'm like, hey, man, stick to the basics. Like, stick with the basics of what you guys do. Like, don't try to do more with your kids at the end of the day because here's the deal, right? They're not ready for that level just yet. Some of them are not ready for that yet. So if you just give them some good, solid techniques, some good, solid fundamental rules, they're going to be fine in this game, right? Because when I get them, understand something. I'm going to add a little bit more to their tool bag, but not much. Because once you send them to me with the solid fundamentals, all we're going to do now is what I love to do is we're going to mold it, right? We're going to take that clay and we're going to finish molding him out. We're going to mold him out. Because once he gets to us, like I said, you guys have all played the game. You can mask a lot of different things. So as in high school, he might have been a man-to-man guy. He going to come to me and I'm like, hey, man, we're a heavy zone team. So you're probably not going to play a lot of man with us. You're going to play a lot of zone. You're going to be dropping underneath a lot of stuff, probably playing a deep third. That's what you're going to do. And that's all I need you to do. You know what I'm saying? I need you to play a little man every once in a while, but for the most part, you're going to be a zone guy. And you're going to be able to kind of use your athleticism and be smart on the field and have field awareness and be great. And so those are things in the day that I tell guys, like, be easy with how you coach your kids, especially at the high school level. Coach them up to your scheme, but don't try to add too much onto them because then them guys think they know more than us, and then it's a clash of the Titans after that.
Right.
Good answer.
Now, Coach, to piggyback off that, what are you going to do about, say, one of those kids is good in school or has a better grade point average than the other kid? Who are you going to go after?
Oh, you definitely got to go after the kid with the grade point average. Now, if it's the kid with the attitude, you need to have that conversation with him. At that point, we got to have that conversation, right? Because as men, I was coached up I was not coddled in high school. I was not coddled in middle school. Even though I consider myself to be a good player, I was not coddled. Like, I got the same, my coach, and I use this line myself. My coach was an equal opportunity, chewer on the field. Like, he chewed it like nobody's business. And so I take that same, I'm that same guy. And so if it's the guy with the attitude problem, then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk as men and I'm going to let him know, like, hey, this is what I need from you. Like, I'm going to need you to be coachable, man. Like, and what I mean by that is this. Like, when I'm trying to give you something, I need you to take it in. I need you to utilize it. Don't just revert back to what you know. Like, I need you to do this. Even though it may not work the first time, doesn't mean it's not going to work the 21st time. I need you to continue to work it and work it and work it. I use the old line, like, remember the Titans from Denzel when he said, it's like Novocaine, just give it time and it will work. And so I think we're in this fast-paced society, guys. Y'all know how it is, where if something don't work the first time, everybody's wanting to scrap it. Get out. I don't want to run that defense because it don't. Coach don't know what he's doing, man. Blah blah. But it's like, I look at it as guys have not forgotten how to coach. Like, you can't tell me that dudes have forgotten how to coach. Like, you can't tell me that they've forgotten how to do it. I just need players. When we talk about buying in, I need guys to just say, hey, listen, it's gonna just believe in what's going on, fellas. If we put you in it, I'm putting you in it for a reason. Because I don't want to get embarrassed. So I'm putting you in this for a reason, believe me, because I don't want to embarrass myself nor you.
No, for sure. So I'll go ahead and jump into my favorite question right now. And for me, it's going to hit, or I guess it'll hit home a little bit for you. I love to ask coaches right now about a couple different things.
Yeah.
NIL and the transfer portal. I want to jump into the NIL first because you're down there in Texas. And correct me if I'm wrong, and you're closer to it, and I want to know for sure. But I saw a post saying that Texas is looking to do NIL for high school students or high school athletes, and they're talking about voting on that in January 2023.
Yes.
So
is that a serious conversation?
Very serious. Me and my son moving up there.
Very serious. It's very serious.
Serious conversation. So I got a 6 about to be 7-year-old that's nice sized kid, man. Take care of old dad sooner than later. But seriously though, Coach, tell me how you feel about the NIL, especially on the college level, and then with you having that difference coming into the high school level. Just talk about that. Give me your feelings on that, and then we'll jump into the portal at the end.
So I'll tell you this. I like the NIL for the college guys. Now, the one thing I will say, I do agree with Dion on this one, when I don't think my players should be making more money than me. Because at that point, now we're talking a whole different situation there. It's like, I don't mind the guys making some money. You know what I'm saying? I think if they're going to do it the right way, whatever that looks like, because, I mean, we all know at the end of the day, we're not fools. We all know about them brown bag specials. We all know about those manila envelopes and all that good stuff. We've all heard
the handshake.
Stories. Correct, the handshake, exactly. We're all aware of those things. And my thing is this. I love to use this one, for example. If I'm Johnny Manziel, right? Prime example. We all saw what Johnny Manziel did and how he turned A&M football on its head when he was there those two years, and what it did for A&M. A&M is still reaping the benefits of his success
Right
till
now.
this day. Right now, like, he made that school over $250 million, just him alone, with jerseys, ticket sales. It was crazy. I read a story on him during his 2 years there. There was not a football game that A&M didn't go to that was not sold out. Every game they went to was sold out, all because everybody wanted to see him. It wasn't even just, we want to see A&M. I want to see what Johnny Manziel is going to do next. And so I'm definitely in it for the players in that situation. As far as the high school goes, I knew this was going to happen. I don't know if you guys are aware of the young man at Texas right now, Quinn Ewers. He was a quarterback at South Lake Carroll High School. QB. He went to Ohio State last year. He sat behind C.J. Stroud. Now he's at Texas. He was the first kid to get an NIL in high school. He got $1 million NIL deal with some, I think it was like a surf company or something like to do like to do like shorts or surfboards or something like that with the company. And so, make a long story short, he ends up leaving high school early, leaves high school early so he can cash in on his deal. I knew that was coming at some point, because I was like, the minute the kid who just he's down here in Austin, Westlake, I don't know, K. Klubnik, who's going to Clemson. They literally just did the numbers on him and said he would have made in high school, he would have made over $200,000 as a high school. Like, that's what he would have generated as a high school athlete at Westlake. He won 3 state championships, 3 in a row, was a 3-year starter there at Westlake. He's going to Clemson, 5-star quarterback, so forth and so on. Now, I don't mind if you give a high school kid an NIL, I would like that to be after they graduate. To me, I feel like that money shouldn't be generated while he's in high school.
Right.
Because now we're talking about a whole different ball of wax.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a whole nother deal. Now, what I will say is this. I don't know how it's going to work, because now you're going to have a situation where you're going to really have the have and the have-nots down here in the Texas, man, because you look at, for instance, you look at the inner city schools, how are they going to compete with the schools, in the burbs? So how do I compete with Allen if I'm in Dallas ISD? And I got an NIL and I'm at Allen now. So now you're talking about the best kids going to Allen, and I'm just using Allen because they're a one-horse town. Or if you go to Lucas Lovejoy, another one-horse town down the road, like, these are affluent families who are lawyers, they're dentists, they're doctors, they own dealerships. So now they can come in and say, well, hey, we can get your son blah blah, and when he leaves Allen High School, he'll have $250 in the bank. I don't know. I don't know if they should get paid during the season. I would say put that in a trust and let that be their college money when they go on. That's like kind of the way I see that.
I like that.
I think that goes with we were having a conversation a couple weeks ago with a college coach, and we were talking about when there should be some type of guidance with it. Don't just give an 18-year-old money and say, here you go, here's your even $250,000, even $100,000.
Correct.
At 18 years old.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for a kid at that age. And I know as much as the rest of us do. We ain't spending that, or we ain't saving it or spending it on something that's useful.
Correct.
We going down the street.
Man,
Correct.
Spending it at the liquor store.
Yep.
Spending it.
No, I'm going to get 100,000 ones. I'm going to
Yeah,
get
that one right
100,000
there. Yeah.
Ice me up.
Yeah.
Well, that was my other thing. You got to go to the liquor store first.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I gotta
like,
get the
they're
grill.
going places.
Yeah, I
That-
need
They're
the ice,
going
man.
places and spending it where they shouldn't
Correct.
because there's no guidance. Because
Correct.
you know, or you would hope that the parents are going to guide them.
Right.
But some of the times the athlete doesn't have the parent to
Right.
guide
Yeah.
them in the right direction.
Right.
Man.
No, that's a
Correct.
great
So
point,
you
Coach
just
Davis,
hit something big with that trust.
Yeah.
Like I never thought of it like that, but if you put that money in the trust and you let that be their college fund, or they hold on to that trust till they, 25 or 26 years old when they really need that money, and they stuck in a hard place in life. That 25, 26 era, that's where you're really trying to figure out life out the football, life out the, hardship, life out the, different elements that happen in life. So that trust, it'll go a long way.
Correct. That's
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, put it in trust, man. I mean, do that. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's definitely smart. I like what Coach Davis said when you talk about not being able to lean on the parents as much in certain communities because let's face it, I don't know who all has kids, who doesn't, but one thing I learned about being a parent, for the first time 6 years ago, everything that you've been taught to a certain degree gets thrown out the window and you have to practice and figure it out every single day what works for you.
Correct.
So if I'm coming from a family who's never seen 100,000 at one time, 250,000, all this money at one time, what can I tell a kid?
Correct.
Now that kid is going to think he's the man of the house or she's running things, and now you're talking about somebody running amok. So, I definitely agree with Coach Davis, Coach Jones. We can either put it in trust or just find a group to help the kids, not even on just the high school, but the college level as well.
Correct.
To start guiding them. Then I think, they might be onto something and really help some people out who definitely deserve to get paid some type of, money in the long run, but it has to be guided some kind of way. So,
oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt.
With that being said, can you even give under the age of 18 without a parent's consent money? Like, do they even get that? You go into that whole
they
thing.
They can work at 16, right? They can go to work.
Yeah,
they
can work at 16.
But
yeah.
can you receive? Like, should there be like a threshold? Like, if it's under the age of 18, maybe that it automatically goes in that trust fund. Maybe Texas can do something like that where if you are going to give them that, they have some restrictions on it. So you're not giving even a high school kid. I mean, never mind a college kid's $100,000. A high school kid?
Yeah.
No, I'll do you one, Coach. Like you said, play devil's advocate, because I look at it like this. Can they give it to them? I think they can. Should they? That's another question. But we give kids, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single semester, every single school year in FAFSA and college loans. It's super predatory lending. I don't care what anybody says. We want kids to go to college.
Correct.
But I'm pretty sure we all know, if it's not us, people that are looking back like, man, I don't know if I should have got those student loans.
Man.
Exactly.
We all know at least one somebody that's like, man, that it didn't add up. It didn't work out in my favor. So, do I think they can? Yeah, they can definitely do it because they're already doing it to a certain degree, whether it's not, the athletes, but your everyday students who are out here getting financial aid, and some of them get scholarships. That's great, but we're already setting it up to put students in a position to be in debt coming out. So, yeah, I think they can. The question is, should they? I don't know. Before we get into the portal, Coach, I'll ask you this one, and this is for everybody. I'm not gonna touch on it because just how I feel personally. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I ask you guys. And with most of you guys being coaches, I don't want you to say more than you want to, or more than you have to. Coach Saban and his comments. How we feeling? What we thinking?
Man, he was out of
Since
line.
we here.
He was out of line.
I'll speak to it. If Coach Jones don't want to speak to it, I'll speak
no,
to it.
he was out of line.
I'm gonna wait till you finish. I'm gonna wait till you finish.
No. I felt like he was out of line. I feel like he was out of line, man. Like, I think that's the pot calling the kettle black. Like, you can't do that. We all know what it is in the day, and I think I'll piggyback. So I'll piggyback off Shannon Sharp on this one. You telling me that you had kids coming from California, you got kids coming from Arizona, and they want to come to the country of Tuscaloosa, Alabama? Like, man, stop playing with me. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from Miami, Florida to go to Alabama. Because they got all the great academics in Alabama, man, and I'm gonna do this. Like, I understand something. Derrick Henry just didn't arrive. Like, Derrick Henry's from Florida. Derrick Henry just didn't go to Alabama. Like it was, we know what the deal is at the end of the day. And so I felt like for him to call out. Now the thing was, he could have made his comments. And, hey, schools are buying guys, or he could have said something else. But to just hit like that, just like hit Texas A&M and then hit Dion like that, I was like, whoa, Nick. Yeah. Now you getting into a whole nother ball of wax, man. Because so I'll give you this backstory. So one of my mentors, a guy by the name of Steve Braggs, he actually played in Cleveland for the Browns. Guess who was his DB coach? Nick Saban, because that's when Bill Belichick was there. Belichick and Saban was on that staff when he took over the Browns. And I've heard some stories, like some real live stories, man, from my man Coach Braggs. But he's also talked to other people that he's put me in touch with that have also given me stories about Nick Saban. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know he was like that. And they like, yeah, that's him. Like, don't let that fool you. Like, this is what it is. So for me personally, I felt like he could have said whatever he wanted to say. But now I think I'm going to say it like anybody else. I think between him and Dabo Swinney, they realize they're not at the top of the mountain no more. And that parity, like they say, like, oh, we need parity in college football. Well, it's coming in the form of this NIL, because in Texas, we can, this is what it is. In Georgia, this is what it is. And, USC, this is what it is. It's coming. So our boosters got bigger pockets than yours. I don't know what to tell you.
Man, you just said a lot right there. Man,
yeah, you got me thinking too. Like, I'm just like.
But hey, Nick Saban, man, he come down here in Orlando and recruit a lot, man. I was at the high school. I told you my son. Anyway, this man pull up in the helicopter, lands on the field. I'm like, oh man, this Hollywood for real. This is different. But you said those big pockets, man. You can't compete with that. Little Alabama got, a few billionaires, but you talking about Texas.
Oil country, man.
A great state. That's the oil country. Come on.
Man, you just look at let's just be real. Look at USC. Like, look at what USC is doing, man. They just got the kid out of Pittsburgh who just transferred over there. Caleb Williams is there. I mean, they got kids flipping their recruits, flipping their commitments left and right out there at SC right now. And from talking to, so I got a good friend of mine who's at Arizona State right now, DB coach at Arizona State, Aaron Fletcher. And he and I've talked. And man, like USC right now, it's gonna be a problem out there at USC, man. That alumni out there is getting red. They like, what? We can. Oh man, it's getting nuts out there in Cali, man. It's nuts.
Man, just think about all the actors and stars.
As far as, we know what Nick said was wrong, but that's the reason why he did it. And Nick being Nick is really
correct.
Right.
Correct.
We can't compete with
yeah.
Correct.
We can compete with technical guys.
Hey, what are y'all doing?
Hey, we need more money. Basically, that's what he's saying. He ain't come out and just say it, but that's what he's on his own people. Within
correct.
We need more money to get this thing. Keep rolling. You want to keep winning? We need more money. We need to keep up with Texas.
We need
more. SEC also too.
Yep.
So we got to compete with those guys.
Exactly. Correct. Correct.
Coach Davis, you gonna touch on it?
I mean, I was gonna touch upon the other side about not necessarily always, right? Because I'm gonna play devil's advocate again. There you go. Right? But was what Jimbo did right? Does he have? Is it too? We always try to teach the kids, right? We're talking about doing the right and the wrong thing, right? Two wrongs don't always make the right. Did Jimbo do the right thing of basically calling him back out, or should have Jimbo just gone away, win some football games, and move on?
I think Nick got off kind of light because I thought Jimbo was gonna, go in the closet and bring out some skeletons or something. Man.
I mean, he basically said there were skeletons without saying it.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, should Jimbo have just said it like a couple words and been like, whatever Nick wants to say, he's gonna say, and let the pads do the talking, as we say, right? You know what I mean?
But Nick had been throwing a lot of shade, man, for a long time now.
What's that?
Yeah.
I said Nick been throwing a lot of shade here and there.
Oh,
About
do
That's
I
that
think Nick
Alzheimer's
Saban
kicking
was-
in.
Yeah.
Do I think Nick Saban
I think he
personally?
did. I think he did the right thing because he put. Listen, you're not king of NCAA. So I think he did do the right thing and said, "Listen, man, since you want to talk, I have something to say too. You're not the king of NCAA football. Everybody else can say something too, you know." And it made Nick go back. All right, I apologize. You know, so I think he did. Otherwise, that apology wouldn't have came, and that would have gave Nick even more fuel, and he would have went. He would have kept talking. He had to hold back. He said, "All right, let me calm down." You know,
Right, no doubt.
I'm gonna say this.
I agree, Coach. I agree with you, Chris. You know what I mean? I'm on your side. I'm just playing the other side of like, how do we take it?
Right.
I'm gonna say
I
this.
get it.
We live in an era where social media, you can put your opinion out there, and nothing ever happened.
Well,
Back in my day, when
unless you're Trump,
if you said something, it wasn't no social media. You got popped in your mouth for whatever you said. So now everybody out here free and wild, whatever. But I'm just saying on the local level, not that big money level that Saban, the god of football, is on. No, I'm just
man. Yeah, it was nuts. I thought, I also thought too. I will say this: that's been one of the biggest things down here. So not only has A&M taken a hit from Alabama, but see, UT of course has thrown their shade at A&M also, and so you got that whole rivalry going on there. Still, even though they haven't played each other in God knows how long, man. I hate the fact that A&M and UT haven't played each other. Like that's the worst. Like growing up as a kid in Texas, like you look forward to 2 football games a year, and that's the UT Oklahoma game, and then the A&M, and then of course UT game during Thanksgiving weekend. Like those are like the games you look forward to. And so like that's also been like Jimbo's having to also defend that from that side of it, because UT has been throwing some shade in there as well. It's like, well, man, they're down there cheating in Aggie land, blah blah. But it's like, nah, the Aggies like, man, we won more than y'all. We've done this, done that, and we're just better than y'all right now. But the fact I think where I kind of get Jimbo when he said we haven't bought anybody. They're saying that we bought our guys. And I think that was the key word, man, was bought. Mm-hmm. When Nick used the word bought, they bought every player on their team. And it's like, whoa. So what you're saying is we went out and we just blah, blah. But that wasn't the case. We didn't just, so I think Jimbo did it right, because in response, like, man, we didn't buy anybody. Everybody who came in here got their own deals. They negotiate their own stuff. We recruited them, but that wasn't the case. We didn't buy anybody. So I don't know. I think he did it right to me.
For me, my only thing, I'll say 2 things and we'll move on. Being somebody from Mississippi, I have a special disdain for the state of Alabama and everything in it. So I was very happy to see Nick Saban get what he had coming to him after making those comments. And I've always lived by the motto, you can't tell somebody how to react. So if Nick Saban is going to get loud and he's going to put names on stuff like that, when Coach Fisher and Coach Prime came out and responded the way they did, I have no problem with the way they responded. But I agree, Coach Davis, we got to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, if we're going to coach and teach and tell these kids to live a certain way, we've got to be able to check ourselves too. But just the Mississippi in me won't let me feel any kind of way in regards to Nick Saban and what happened to him. So we'll move on from that. But let's get into the portal, Coach. Are you guys jumping into the portal? You're recruiting heavily from high school, because we get a lot of these kids, like you said, we live in this social media age, and it's, man, I'm overlooked. Nobody's giving me a chance. They only go into the portal. But time and time again, we have coaches saying either, we go into the portal somewhat, or B, we're strictly going after high school kids because now they're more available. What are you guys looking for right now?
We are B, man. We're strictly going after high school kids. I think we've gone in the portal maybe after maybe 1 or 2 kids, like since the portal was since it got really hot. We don't go after too many kids in the portal because we're like, a lot of those kids in the portal are looking for something bigger than us anyway. So a lot of them are not looking to come to a Division III non-scholarship school. They're not really trying to hear it. Every once in a while they'll talk to us, but for the most part, we're looking strictly for high school kids because they're mostly available like that now. I tell people, it was funny. I don't even mean to make light of this. COVID was the best thing that ever happened to us as a Division III program, COVID was the best thing that ever happened to us, and not meaning from and not trying to, like I said, make light of that,
Right.
you know, the whole pandemic, but from a football standpoint, with kids not really getting a chance to play out their seasons, with having limited film and things that, and then with the big schools, the JUCOs, the D2s, FCS schools, with those guys having to really be more selective, but then also too, with guys getting that extra year of eligibility. See, that's what did a lot of guys in with the COVID year was you had FBS, FCS, Division II, like everybody got that 5th year. So if you were already redshirting guys already, well then now they got basically 2 more years to play football for you. They're gonna get 5-6 years in there to play. So now I don't have to go out and recruit this many kids over here. I don't have to go out and do this. And so now the opportunities are now limited for those kids coming out of high school. Like, unless you're a dude, you're probably not gonna get what you think you should get. But again, right, like what I tell a lot of guys is that, do you want to play football or not? Like, which one is it? Because yeah, I get it. You want to go to West Texas A&M, or you want to go to San Angelo State, or you want to go to Mississippi College, or, you know, you want to go to somewhere else. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. You're getting a couple of smaller offers from schools over here, a few Division IIIs, a few NAIAs. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go to Kentucky Wesleyan? You want to go to Southwestern? You still going to play football. Like, so what do you want to do? Or do you want to go, you know, as most guys do now, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to say this, and I'm putting my opinion. I don't like the whole preferred walk-on deal that kids get. I think that is such the biggest joke.
Second thought.
I think that's the biggest joke out there. I hate when kids post those. Oh, got a PWO to blah blah. And I'm like,
in the day, that was like a slap in the face. Man.
Correct. And now, and it's like now you got guys like taking the preferred walk-ons, the PWOs, and I'm like, so you're gonna go pay to play at such and such, but you wouldn't come pay to. You're gonna go. Like, make it make
potential to get on the field.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're gonna go pay to be a crash dummy.
Correct. I'm like
crash dummy. You're gonna be picking up the pads.
That's it, exactly.
You are gonna be a pad boy. You are going to be holding the starter's helmet.
That's it.
Into the locker room.
That's it.
Yeah.
Man, listen, it's saying
I'm on the
Scholarship your senior year.
Yeah.
Man, this. I love the saying.
You're not Rudy.
I love the saying, you know, people gonna tell you who they are the first time, right? I like that saying.
Yep.
No, and these young men need to realize colleges are gonna tell you who you are the first time.
Correct.
If you got 20 NAIA schools giving you offers, listen, you're an NAIA player. Like,
That's
you're an
what you are,
NAIA player. Like, you know, if you got 20 D3 schools saying, hey, we want you, you're a D3 player, man.
Correct.
So hey, take the best opportunity possible. You know, take the best package you can get and go ball out. You know what I mean? And do what you got to do there. You know, and that, I mean, that's what they just need to realize. For all you guys out there listening.
Correct.
I literally know one guy in my 36 years of living, and then, you know, however many years playing or whatever. One guy. Yeah, I'm kind of, you know, getting on up there, man. I still feel young. But I know one guy. Philip Poggett, he's a phenomenal high school coach now, but we played together at MC. He came from Navy, so he was a D1 guy some kind of way, ended up at MC. Didn't work out for him. He got the PWO. He ended up at LSU when Saban was there. Worked his butt off, got active, won a ring. He's the only guy I know, and I'm talking about he was an athlete. Pig was about 6'2", 230, 240, playing running back, fullback. He was legit. You know, he wasn't out there. He didn't get any yards, any carries, anything like that. But he was on the team, maybe did some special team stuff. So knowing one guy out of hundreds that have done it, that I know personally that have done it, it's just a crazy situation to put yourself in, man. When you got schools out there that really want you and you have a chance to play and be seen. It's crazy.
And Kev, I like that you said that, because listen, we're not saying that you can't work your way into somebody's system on the Division I level. If, you know, if that's where you want to go, we're not killing dreams. You know, bet on yourself. You know, take the opportunity that's in front of you at the time being. and figure things out on the way. You know, you might not be ready. You know, right now you're a Division III player. You don't have the 2 more inches that you need. You don't have the 20 more pounds that you need. Go and ball out at that D3 school, and you might love it and say, you know, I'm staying here. They showing me love. You might say, you know what, I want to move on, and you might go ball out somewhere else. But what we're saying is take the opportunity. You know, don't pass up on opportunities. You know, Southwestern, you know, is an opportunity. Go ball out and play there. And you might end up loving it. You might be like, man, this is where I want. You might meet your future wife there. Yeah. Well, you know,
yeah, there it is. Exactly.
Hey, chill. I got this kid on my team. He is a force to be reckoned with. Like nobody can block him throughout the whole year. Down here, but you know his statistics. Like he's a defensive end, but he's only 5'8", and you know around 220 pounds, but he's hell coming off that edge. His first step is fast. He got all kind of moves. He's strong. I mean, this guy, he can do anything. But you know, he understand with me talking to him. But before I got to him, all he was like, "Oh, I'm going D1. I'm going D1."
Right.
But you know, you're gonna love dominating going D1. So long as you get that opportunity. He made to the lead. I used to trash him in high school. Don't nobody believe you? Pull out the huddle film.
There it is. Exactly.
Pull out that film. Like it's gonna speak.
No, exactly.
And it's like,
I agree with that.
And it's like we were talking about at the top, man. You got so many of these guys now. It's becoming more and more common every year in the draft. The D3 guys, the D2 guys, the small school guys. They're not just getting the undrafted free agent looks; they're getting drafted, and it's getting higher and higher. You're talking about 4th round picks, 3rd round picks. So it's getting to that point where now I don't think it's ever going to be even. But who's to say in 5 to 10 years we don't see a first rounder that came from a very small school, D3 or D2? Yeah. So now you go into these D3s with legitimate shots to not, you know, maybe you don't get to the NFL. The CFL is right there. Right. Arena League is getting stronger and stronger. Now we got the USFL. You got the XFL coming back. So there's going to be so many spots that need to be filled, and you can go and play and get paid to play football, you know? So it's the opportunity is there, man. I like what you guys are saying. Guys just have to realize that opportunity that's in front of them and take it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll say this. You know, one of the biggest things that we deal with down here, of course, with the state being so large as it is that you run into a lot of guys who, well, who you talking to? Oh, well, I'm talking to, you know, Stephen F. Austin. I'm talking to Sam Houston State. I'm talking to this school. Okay, have you been offered by him? No, I ain't been offered by him. All right, so what's going on? Like, are you like, what's the deal? Well, I mean, they told me they were gonna come offer me, but we'll see what happens. But right now, ain't nothing going on, and it's like, well, what are we doing there, man? Like, is that like, let me know what we're doing, so I know what to do, so I know what to do going forward, and how to handle this, because it's like they haven't offered you anything. And again, no shade at these schools. I'm just using them as an example. They haven't offered you anything, but you're like, it's like, come on, man. Like, do you understand what's going on right now? Like, you just kind of went to a camp and they let you put the jersey. You know, again, every kid that goes and put the jersey on the helmet, I don't swear that's a school that's offering them. And I'm like, look, man, they let me do that. Everybody get to do that. I went to Baylor one time, man, just as I was coaching a high school, and they had the helmets out. And I remember talking to one of the kids that had played at the high school I was coaching at. He had just graduated and was a freshman there at Baylor. And I was like, hey, man. And I knew Kendall Briles from when he was in high school and when he played at University of Texas. That's when Art Briles was there at Baylor. And so I'm talking to Kendall. He and I chopping it up, kicking it. And I'm like, man, let me go in the locker room, man. And so I get a chance to go in the locker room. And I'm like, I need some gear, bro. I want to gear it up real quick. And I put a jersey. I mean, I'm a coach, and they let me put the jersey on. So you know they gonna let you do it.
Oh, my.
You know, they let me do it.
Oh,
but see, this, I don't know how to say this without being negative about it or someone taking it negatively. Kids,
man, you can say the sky is blue, they're
gonna
be mad.
Yeah, I know. Kids in this generation think that when a coach is telling them the honest truth or being front with them or blunt about things, they take it as you're putting them down and it's a negative thing.
Right.
And when you're just trying to give them a reality check without a slap in the face, where they do try to go for a PWO and say, oh, I'm at Alabama on a PWO. It's like you have an opportunity to go play Division II, Division III, where you're actually going to see the field. And the opportunity is there. That's what you are as a player. If you really love the game and you want to play, take the opportunity that's in front of you.
Right.
Totally agree. And I'll take it to this level with it. With the way that the portal is set up now, if you really feel in your heart and soul you that guy and you deserve to be somewhere else, take your D3, take your D2, because they all looking in the portal. Go to JUCO, go to NAI, wherever you're gonna go, kill it, prove that you're that guy. Hop in the portal and go get taken by that school you're supposed to be in. You know,
correct.
But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. It's not the end of the road at all.
Got to.
Sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not the end. Got to tell you, man. Go ahead, Coach.
What you got, Chris?
Go ahead, Junior.
No, I was saying it's not the end of the road, man. You know, because coming out of high school from Miami, you know, I graduated and I had absolutely no offers. You know, I took the long route and I went to JUCO down in California and University in Alabama and played in Canada for a few months for a season. And I told these young guys, man, this other. When I graduated, I didn't know about D2, D3, all these other leagues. All I know about is Florida State, and Miami.
So that's it. There you go.
You got different options now. Yeah. Exactly. You have different options. So it's not the end of the
man.
It might take you a little longer. Cav said, man, right now, these D3, D2, those guys getting drafted now. So you have a lot than I did back then in 2000. So just say full Avenger. Man, just grind your heart. If you
That's true. I wish we had, coming through. Because I didn't know about many schools coming out of Memphis either. I just knew University of Memphis, Ole Miss, and Tillman.
There you go.
Oh, wow. hey, we had the VHS tapes.
Melon out VHS tapes. Exactly.
Oh, no, let me tell you. I drove to South Carolina by myself in high school. Coach, what's coach? Lou Host was the coach. And we get there, and I got my VHS tape. We put it in. I only got one copy of this game. I made 15 tackles. I thought I did good. Put the tape in. We just watching it. He pulled the tape out after the first play. Ripped the screen, ripped the threads out of the tape and threw. And I had to keep a straight face the full time. Like, oh, man. I ain't got another copy of that. I ain't got another copy.
Oh, geez.
But they were honest with us back then. I appreciate it. I mean,
yep, exactly.
It built their character.
So, Coach,
and they could do it.
Pull out that DVD and throw it across the room.
Yep.
Shit didn't work the next day. It's like, well, you just went and scratched up the whole backside of the DVD. What do you expect? You can't do that no more. It's all on film, on Huddle, and everything else.
Yep.
Exactly.
So, Coach, what's a DB? What's a DB that you coach that's currently in the NFL or just went to the NFL? Any player.
Man, I'll tell you, the guy I would love to coach, man, is the kid. He just got drafted to my Texans, man, Derek Stingley.
Okay.
That dude, he's the dude. I would love to have coached him. Would love to coach him now. Like, I've watched him. I followed him when he was in high school. I followed him, of course, when he was in college. You talk about a real live corner. I mean, that dude walked in there in the SEC as a freshman. Mm-hmm. Started at LSU. Mm-hmm. Like, that just don't happen. Right. That just don't happen. I'll tell you another guy, man. I like Joe Hayden in his prime. I like Joe Hayden coming out when he went to when he was with the Browns. Really like Joe Hayden a whole lot. So those are two guys I would definitely would love to work with if I had the chance to.
Nice. So the two corners this year, you had your guy Stingley, you had Sauce Gardner. I think they play a little bit different. So I'm with you. I take Stingley not just as an LSU fan, but complete package against the highest competition. What do you think separates those two guys when you look at them?
You know, I think Sauce, man. Here's my deal with Sauce, and what I like, because I had to go back and kind of rewatch him a little bit. He's a lot more. He's a lot faster than what everybody thinks, and he has really good range. Like, man, he's very deceptive. If you really look at his game, man, the guy is just so long, and he makes things look so effortless with his play. And so, because but he's that good. I think, depending on the situation, because I believe he went to the Jets, correct? The Jets picked him up. Depending on what Saleh does with him, I think he could be a Richard Sherman type. Not saying he's going to be Richard Sherman, but I feel like he could be a Richard Sherman type corner where he's long. You could put him in some cover 3 type stuff, put him in some man-to-man, and kind of mix his game up a little bit, and keep teams guessing about what he's doing. Just because he is so sneaky deceptive, but he has a high football IQ. He finds a football, man, and does a really good job there. Now, I think with Stingley, this is just me personally. Stingley's my guy that I can move around. So he's my Jalen Ramsey. So if I want to put Stingley on the best receiver on the field, I can do that. If I want to move him to the slot, I can do that too. There's a lot of things I feel I can do with Stingley that I can't do with Sauce. That's, I think, where they differ. I think Sauce is strictly going to be an outside guy. I don't think you can move to me that. Now, again, I'm not saying he hadn't done it, or he won't, or he will not do it. But I think that slot is so important. When you can take a guy and move him from outside to inside, man, and still not lose nothing and not really have to cover him up, I think that's a special dude, man. A la Ramsey with the Rams. Jalen Ramsey's that dude. Like, you can move him inside to the slot and he be your nickel, and it's like, all right, here we go, and we ain't got to cover him up. So I think that's the difference between those two guys, personally.
Gotcha, man. Great answer. I think both of those guys amazingly talented. Both of them had NFL talent, on the opposite side of them. So for them to be able to differentiate themselves and be those high draft picks, man, I'm looking forward to watching both of those guys.
Correct. Same.
So just about time to get up out of here, man. Chris, I know you got your famous or infamous question. And then I'll throw 2 things in at the end that are a little bit more serious with everything that's going on, and we'll call it a night. But throw it over to Chris, man.
This is the toughest question of all, man. Everybody struggles with this question, Coach. I got to ask you, man. It's serious now. If you was a fruit, which fruit would you be?
Man, if I was a fruit, which fruit would I be? Man, you know what? First thing come to mind, I'm gonna be an orange, because I'm gonna give you some vitamin C. I help people get better. I'm also acidic. I'm also very acidic, so it means when you eat me, it's good for you and help you with your digestion, and all that good stuff, man. And the thing is, being an orange, man, everybody like oranges. I ain't really heard nobody ever say I don't like no orange. Everybody like orange juice or something. Orange chicken. You like something orange. So I'll be an orange. That'd be me.
Thank you, Coach Jones.
Let's go.
Coach Jones, so we ask everybody this question, and week in and week out, we get people that just like I want to be this fruit. And every week I'm like, can someone give something with benefit of why they're a fruit?
Yeah.
And you just did it.
Yeah, man. It's health reasons behind. Like I said, the vitamin C alone. So check it out. What happened when everybody gets sick? The first thing that happened when everybody gets sick, I need some orange. I need some vitamin C. I need some orange juice. I'm like,
gotta get it.
You gotta hydrate.
Yeah, you gotta hydrate. And the thing is,
coconut.
There you go. And I tell people, with an orange, you ain't never going out of style. Everybody gonna need you, because when you go to track meet, where they tell you to eat, get some orange slices.
Hey, we have them at our football game. Orange
exactly.
slices.
Orange slices. There you go. Get some orange slices. You'll be all right. So there it is.
Man.
So I'll be an orange, man.
Good one. All right. So before we get out of here, man, I always got to tip my hat to Chris, man. Amazing guy I've known a long time. And he's a multifaceted guy. We talk about the fruits and all the different benefits of these fruits, but he's a real life guy that's really doing a lot, man. I just want to, give you a minute to give yourself a little shine, man. You got your book out. Talk to us about it. Give us a quick little
Oh yeah,
rundown on the book, where people can find it. Talk about it.
yeah. The athlete that never was, man. It's just that the athlete that never was. Everybody knows that guy. That guy that was a superstar could have made it, should have made it. You got to read the book to find out what's going on. Right now, is the Kindle edition is out soon. The paperback and hardcover will be out on Amazon. It's just about a kid who going through it. Uh, every coach and player can relate to this book. Everybody's met a kid like this. Every kid, had a coach like this. And it just shows uh, to the fans of what's really going on behind the scenes. Hey, you yelling at the coach, you yelling at the kid, this and this and that, but you don't know what's going on 5 days out the week. So it's just giving a little bit, insight to the lives that's happening. The series, so you'll get to see a lot of different things within the series, man. So I'm excited about it. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do. finally got it. About 8 years.
That's what's up. Good deal. Good deal.
But finally figured it out, man, and like the direction it's going in. My co-author Zane Rowland helped me write the book, man. And we spent a lot of late nights going back and forth on how we gonna do this thing. So shout out to him, and hey, go get the book, check it out.
For sure, man. Much respect to both of you guys, man. Congrats on that. A little bit more serious note before we get out of here, man. We talked about Texas a lot. Of course, we all know about the events that's happened yesterday, and we want to take a little bit of time, man. Give our condolences, our heartfelt prayers to all those families and people down there in Uvalde. Company I work for, we have a training facility down there, so it's actually a place I've been a couple times. It's a small, blue collar town. Very close knit. So, it seems like we go through this thing more frequently every year. And we keep asking ourselves, when is it going to stop? When is it going to end? And you're talking about babies and teachers and people losing their lives really, really senselessly. And I just hope that we can come together as a country and figure this thing out. And the politicians who can make decisions on, gun control or whatever it may be, especially on assault rifles that, frankly, people don't need. But we just want to take this time out, man, and give our heartfelt condolences to those families, to anybody that's affected by it. Coach, I know you're down there in Texas, so we just wanted to make sure we took a little time to do that. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't. So,
for sure.
Much respect to everybody down there. We're really sorry for what's going on. Hopefully at some point we can figure it out as a country and get this over with. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No doubt. Yeah, same here.
Sooner than later would be nice.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, Coach, one last thing before we let you get out of here, man. If you got any closing messages for potential recruit, a kid that wants to come on campus, now's the time. And also drop whatever social medias you might have or email that kids can reach out to you, if you have that available.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna leave it like this, man. Again, still looking for really, really good athletes. Understand that the journey is not over with. You just may have to just take a different route when it's all said and done. There's nothing wrong with playing at a lower level, man. I'm always going to be an advocate for the smaller schools because I was a small school guy myself, so I'm always going to be an advocate for the smaller schools. But more so, the one thing I do want to say is this, to any athlete that's listening, any coach that's listening, no matter who it is, always show those guys respect when they come into your school or when they take the time out to talk to you. And the reason why I say that is because, and I'm going to keep saying this, you never know where that guy is going to end up. You never know where he's going to end up at the end of the day. Just like I may be talking to you today at Southwestern, but then I may be talking to you tomorrow from Ohio State. You never know where my journey is going to take me at the end of the day. And I say that because I have a buddy of mine who's coaching high school right now. He was at Grambling, now he's coaching high school ball. And he and I talked about that a lot. He's like, I will get back to the college level at some point. He said, right now, my journey's just taking me back to high school right now, but I'll get back to the college ranks. And he was like, that's what kids got to understand is that just because you see me as a high school coach or you see me as a coach at the D3 level, whatever it is, don't mean that's where I'm going to stay at. So always know, guys, don't burn those bridges. Be respectful of those guys, man. if they take the time out to talk to you or give you some uplift or give you some kind of something that they're trying to fill you up with solid knowledge, hey man, be respectful, take it and run with it, because you never know if you may meet that guy again down the road somewhere. So those would be my parting words there. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, that's usually where I get all my info at, Football Coach 31 on Twitter. So hit me up at Football Coach 31, all one word, on Twitter. You can hit me up. You can email me also at djones@southwestern.edu. So those are the two big ones right there. So look forward to hearing from some good players. Usual coaches, hit me up too. Hey, let's talk ball. I love talking football. And let's do this again, man. This right here was fun. I had a great time tonight, guys. Enjoyed
No
this,
doubt.
man. This is great. So, hey, let's do it again anytime.
For sure.
Nah,
For
no
sure.
doubt, man. Much respect to you, coach. Always good talking to another ASC guy. Like I
No
said,
doubt.
tough and rough and rugged football.
Yes, sir.
Always been good. So good talking to you. Good having you. We appreciate you, Coach Jones, Southwestern University. You got me, Just Kev. I'm your host, Coach Terry, Coach Davis, Chris. We got Junior on tonight. Man, it's been another great episode. Until next time, guys. It's Straight Talk Live, Post Grad Recruits. We out.
Yeah, y'all take it easy.